Hey Yale family, summertime's finally here, and what better way to start it off than doing a popsicle challenge. So we're gonna cool things off by giving you an SVG file, bring it into your software. I'm gonna do a quick little demo where it's gonna be fast and furious. I'll show you a couple of quick little techniques that I'm gonna create a design, but the whole goal is for you to be creative and do anything you want. Just take your time, don't have a meltdown, and we're looking forward to seeing what you create. Now I've got my software opened, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to open up a new window here. So I'll just start up a new design, and my grid is turned off. I turned off my grid so that I'd be able to see things clearly, because we are going to import vector art. Normally we've probably for the most part uploaded a backdrop, a PNG file, a bitmap file that you've kind of been tracing over. This time we're going to import the actual SVG file, which is called Swirl Popsicle. It's going to open up into the software, and you're going to see the design come up. If I do hit Control A on my keyboard and then I right click and hit Properties, my properties come up. You can see that it is actually set at 7 inches. And if I want, I could unclick that so that I no longer have my outlines. Now with this, it gets a little bit harder to see, but you can still see the lines there. And I prefer to work with outlines when possible because it just makes things a little bit easier. But while I do have those objects all there, I'm going to go back to my sequence view, and I'm going to grab this one right here. Let's just go down. You see that that's one object and that's one object. I'm going to grab those two objects. So I just have those two. I'm going to leave this one that has these 3 little individual swirls alone. And I'm going to go over the artwork, and I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste. And now I have those two that are highlighted. I could change those both to the same color. It doesn't really matter what color it is. So now it's just seeing one color. It is still selected. It's at the very end. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my artwork edit tools, and I'm going to tell it to weld those. So it takes that little line right here out, and I just have an outline. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, which is now turned to black, and again I can change it to whatever color I want. I'm going to bring that right to the very beginning, and then while I still have that selected, again I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste. So I have 2 of them. I'll change that color, and I'm going to take this color here, and I'm going to move this one up in the order so it's underneath. So I've right away decided that I'm going to do a Mylar design, so I need to have a running stitch, which this one here, if I click on this one, let's click off of that one, I'm going to tell this one to be a running stitch, and there are my properties. I can see I have a 2.5 millimeter run stitch, and then I'm going to tack down this running stitch, so I'll unclick that one, click that one. Let's make this a running stitch as well. But now I'm going to do a double run, so it's going to hold it in place. So there, my first 2 colors are already done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the next color that I'm going to actually do, and I'm going to do this piece right here, and I'm going to do this as an object, but let's come here as well, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to duplicate that. Actually, I don't think I am going to duplicate it, because I think I'm going to kind of switch between using this as an SVG for part of it, and then I'll outline it with a border with another part. And if that doesn't make sense, this will very shortly. I'm going to take that, convert it to a fill, and let's just grab this object right here. Let's convert that to a fill stitch. So now it's going to be a fill stitch. If I turn on my 3D, you're going to see that there is my fill. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to do a travel on edge. So now it is, if I go to my 300% scale, you're going to see this is a very, very loose density right here, and it's just traveling at the edge. I'm going to edit the path, which is the Q key on my keyboard. I'm going to start at the top right there, which is fine, and I'm going to make sure that it ends at the very, very bottom, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is, because I know it's ending at the bottom, I'm going to get out of that, and I know that right from this point on, and let's just actually grab that object there, and I'm going to turn that into, let's say, number 22, just so I have that. And then while I'm here, I'm going to say digitize after. So now I'm going to digitize after that object, hit the 1 key so that I'm in a run stitch, and I'm just going to very, very quickly follow around here and do a path right up to the part right here, hit enter, and now I have a run stitch traveling over to there. So if I look at this now, let's hit that again. Here is my cue, and there I'm going to do a, for this one object right here, cue. So there is a stop. I want to have a stop and a start. So start here, and I'm going to have a stop over here. And then in the next object, I'm going to have a start and a stop, so there's no trims or jumps. And the reason why I did that is now I'm going to go to a steel, which is the number 6 key on my actual keyboard, because I love hotkeys, and I'm going to change this to 1.5 millimeters. So anything I do moving forward from this is going to be 1.5, and I'm going to start here, and I'm going to, again, actually, we've got to make sure I do this properly. Let's actually go here first, grab that one, and I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to say digitize after, because I don't want it at the end, I want it right after this object. Hit that 6 again, and I'm going to start here, go right to here, and I'm going to start to curve around. So just curve around the outside like this, and I'll just hit a point here, and then another point right here, and hit enter. And now there is that object finished, and you can see that my order is staying the same. So there is a run stitch, another run, which I did as a double, then I have a fill, then it travels up to the top, and then I have a steal, and the bottom part of that is done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to take this object, and let's just pan down using my space bar. I'm going to actually make this a little bit smaller, because I really don't need to worry about digitizing at a 6:1 scale as long as I can see the entire object. And I'm going to kind of do this again half manually and half kind of automatically. The automatic part is going to be this part right here, where I'm going to end up taking this object, and let's just convert this to a fill stitch. And let's just grab that again, convert it to a fill. There is my fill path. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to travel on edge, and I'm going to then go to my my Q key on my keyboard. It starts down here, and I'm going to stop right over here. And I wanted that fill to be nice and clean, so there is my stop point. And let's just zoom in, and I'll pan down over to here so I can see there's my stop point right there. I'm going to click back over to the start, and now I'm going to grab onto this object right here, and again, digitize after. And I'm going to go to my number 1 on my keyboard, and I'm just going to go right over here and oops, just want to hit that again. I'm going to go right over here. Let's start here, and I'm going to follow my path all the way around here until I get to this point right here and hit enter. Now I can see that it is putting a point down. It's kind of created a different color there, but I'll switch that afterwards. The reason why is it has an unknown color right here, so it went to a thread color, and that's okay. I'm going to leave that as it is, because I'll switch this all to one color afterwards. It's kind of good in a way that I have that separation, because now the next object that I want to do is going to be my steel stitch with a fixed width satin. I'm going to go to 6, and I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm just going to go right here and go all the way around this object, and I will come all the way around from here to here, straight, and then hit enter. And then I'm going to come right over here, and I'm going to do the next object, which is going to be back to the 1, and I will continue to go around. Let's just pan. I want to do a run stitch right here, so I'm going to do here to here and enter. And now I have that path done right there. And then this piece I want to actually be a number 6 on my keyboard, which is going to be a fixed width satin, and I'm just going to hit enter. So I've done that little piece. Now I go back to 1, and I'm going to travel, because I want to make sure that I travel. Again, hit my space bar. I want to run down this side, so I'm just going to use that as a traveling stitch to run. Hit enter, back to 6, put a point from here to here, enter, back to 1, and you can kind of see how this is repetitive now. I'm just kind of going between both of these, using this as a travel, hitting enter, and then back to number 6, and I'm going to put a point here, and then I'm just going to do my right clicks, And again, when I get to here, I'm just going to pan over, continue on with my right clicks, and then go to a right and a left for straight, straight, and enter. And there I have my fixed width. I can come in and I can pan down, switch over to my run stitch, and continue that path now with a run. Get right to here, hit enter, and then I want to continue with my fixed width. Hit enter, continue with a run, and I can pan down so I can see here, continue with that run, again right from that point here, come all the way around, hit enter, go back to my steel, which is a fixed width satin, and there I think if I look I'm pretty much done. So I have completed all of those different objects. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to take those objects and I'm going to grab them all, and I'm going to grab this one as well. So they're all selected, and I'm going to change that at the same time to a color, and I'm going to make it a little lighter, and there I can see that that object is done. The only thing I really want to make sure of is I'm going to check my path. So there is my start, there's my stop, and my start is going to be down at the bottom. Actually, let's look at this. Let's do stop up here. Then this next path right here, let's check that one, start and stop. And then let's check the next path going down. So I'm going to take this one, and if I check that, start and stop. So I want to make sure again that they're all kind of nice and clean and moving forward. If I don't see any little pairs of scissors here, which I don't all the way through, I know I have created a nice clean object. And this design actually has all of the pieces finished except for, and they're all in the right order. I've digitized everything kind of properly in the right order right now, so I planned ahead. That's the thing with vector artwork, is it might be created a certain way, so you'll have to go in and adjust it. But now this last piece of artwork that I have here is 3 pieces of artwork that are all done at the same time. So if I click on it and hit edit artwork, I'm going to be able to take this, edit the design, and break it apart. So now I've broken each of these apart, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab each one of these and I'm going to copy and paste them. So I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste. So there I have 2 that are the same. So there's 1, there's 2, and actually let's grab that one and copy and paste it as well. So I'm going to unclick the other ones because I need to copy and paste this one. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste, and then I'm going to click off of that one and do this one here. That one's done, that one's done, that one's done, that one's down here, that one's up there. So it's the middle one that I have to copy and paste again. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it. So now if I look at this, there's my first piece, and let's unclick that one. I want to find the one that matches up to that, which is not that one. It's that one. Nope, it's this one right here. So I'm going to grab this object and I'm going to bring it up in the order so that they are going to both be in sequence of each other. Then I'm going to look at the next object, which is the top one, and there is that one. Well, this one here, to be honest, I'm going to bring this one down in the order a couple because I want that to kind of sew last. And then if I look here and here, there is that one. So this one here, I also want to bring this one down at the very bottom as well. So if I look at this, there is that piece, that piece, that piece, and that piece. So this one has to come down. And now I'm just making sure that all of those are in sequence. They kind of look the same. They both look the same, but I do want to use my different tools to create a fill stitch and then create a border. So that's really why I have arranged those and repeated them and made sure that I have 2 copies, because one of these is going to be a fill and the other is going to be a border around the fill. So now I'm going to take that very first fill that I have here and I'm just going to make sure that I grab that, and I'm going to choose, let's say, a wave fill. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to make it a wave fill, and I could go in here now and edit the actual wave of that fill. And let's do this. I'm going to grab this color right here and I'm going to tell it to hide the color just for a second. And I just want to take this one now and I want to unhide that one because I had it hidden. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit this object now. So I'm going to grab this here and let's just take this handle and put it right over here. let's take this one and put it right here. And then let's take this one, put it over here, and this one and put it right down here. And I can take my little handle and sort of change the cusp of that so that I try to create something that looks kind of close to the artwork. So that's where I'm kind of really trying to come in and, you know, have some fun and play with these pieces, all of these different pieces, and keep them fairly similar to the original artwork. And I did not want to take that one, so let's just grab this here. And I wanted let's just actually take this piece out of the way, and let's just grab this one right here. And I got to zoom in a bit because I want to make sure I grab the right handle right there and grab this one and have it coming something like that. So that looks pretty close. Now, here's where I have kind of changed my mind a little bit, because I think that I kind of found an easier way that I can do this now that I've sort of changed the angle of that. And then I take the next piece here. So I just click on the fix with satin and it's going to retain the same 1.5 millimeter property. Now here's where I'm going to sort of change my mind, because I did go through the whole thing of rearranging and duplicating those objects. But in reality, what I could do right now is just grab those two, and I'm just going to, again, copy and paste those. So let's copy and paste those. It is going to put them at the bottom of the order. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those and I'm just going to move them and line them up to the next object, because they're all pretty much exactly the same. And then after I do that, I'm going to take those two and I'm going to, copy and paste those as well. And I'm going to do the same thing and move those up in the order, and just make sure that I, can pan over, but I mean, that looks pretty much perfect. And there I have a whole bunch of pieces of artwork that all I have to do is just get rid of those, because there's no stitches. It just says, 0 stitches artwork path. So I'm going to delete those. And now I have all of my objects done. If I just come in here and let's just back up a little bit. So I'm going to go outside a little bit. Let's just grab this as a whole, and I will have a trim between each of those. But when I look at this, it's going to do this object, then it's going to do the outline, and then it's going to do this object, and then it's going to do the outline. So everything should line up perfectly. I can also now grab this color right here, and let's just turn that back on so that we can see it. And there I have a pretty quick, easy dimensional design that is going to, sparkle and shine and give us a little taste of summer. Now, remember, you don't have to do what I did. This is just what, floated out of my head as I was sort of looking at this and creating it, but use different motifs, and we are looking so forward to seeing what you stitch out. Well, the sample is run, and now for my favorite part, just taking off that Mylar, and it tears off so easily. Go all the way around the design, and we are done. So if I were to redo this design, would I do it the exact same way? Definitely not. There's 100 different ways I could do this design, and that's why I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with, and I'm looking forward to seeing your designs. Thanks for watching. Inner Circle members, don't forget to download your lesson files below. Not a member yet? Join the Inner Circle and get access to exclusive bonuses, hands-on training, and everything you need to master embroidery digitizing. Click the link in the description to get started. Want to keep learning? Check out these tutorials next and take your embroidery skills even further.